Welcome to Parenting and Presence. Today with us, we have our guest Sharifa Begum. And today, me and Sharifa are going to discuss about the Netflix web series Adolescence, which has shaken the parenting community globally. Thank you for joining with us yet again in another beautiful podcast. So, before going forward with the questions to Sharifa, I would want Sharifa to summarize the entire series Adolescence in a couple of minutes.
To summarize it, is a 13-year-old boy. He has murdered someone, and initially he is not feeling guilt about any its act. He's internally he's justifying that I have not done anything wrong. And it is taking around 13 months of time to make him realize that he has done some blunder. And what is the reason behind it? How the society, parents, school, everybody, friends, everybody is on the digital world, to not to exclude it. That is the main role. How everything has played a role in that child. That is what the entire series is bringing out for us. And here I want to put up a disclaimer saying that this is a scripted one. This is not a normalized scenario. Coming from a normal in family setup where some of the actions of the children are overlooked or something like that, this is not the case. The child will go turn into this violent or this neglectful towards the other human being. This is not the case. They will have certain behavior that is not inappropriate when it's their needs are not met, but not to this extent. So I request every parent not to take it too much personal. Everybody needs a betterment of their parenting style or their self betterment. Everybody is traveling towards the betterment. So don't deep dive into it and go into a guilt mode or fear mode.
Thank you so much, Sharifa, for starting with the disclaimer along with the summary of the story because a lot of people either feel very anxious or worried when they look at or when they come across a series like that. So there is nothing to get anxious, but it is just um, learning curve for us to understand that this is also another side to a story. So the first question I want you to address is about the age adolescence. Why is it so much important? We talk about 3 year crisis, 7 year crisis, 9 year crisis, and the entire period of adolescence is something that has to be, um, that has to be handled like a glass vessel that is filled with water. Why is it so?
So I'll address it in three different aspects. Psychologically, um, they are in a conflict between the reality um, that is happening outside, and they are trying to find their own identity over there. This is what Steiner is saying. That is when after the puberty is the time understanding awareness of self is coming. So that is the period that any human is going to will be going in search of truth. It is true or not. Am I standing in a truth path, a true path or not? All these things will happen inside the child. Okay. And physiologically, hormonally, there are so many changes is happening inside the child. They have a sudden growth. There are so many changes is happening physically. Body growth, hair, physically physical change, be it in a boy or in a girl, they undergo so many physical changes. And that physical change again have a like acceptance factor.
Yeah.
How they see their peers growing up with them, and they compare themselves with the adults, they compare themselves with the child. It's a phase that they are in between. They are neither the child nor the adult. In between, they are trying to find the balance. It is very hard on them. And then there comes the hormones. That plays a very major role. It grows. Some hormones are like that is they act in a very peak time. That is going to be a peak time, and they don't know what is happening, actually happening. Is their behavior is out of their own consciousness, or it is something that is happening reflection of the something that is happening internally because of their bodily effects. They do not know. That is the period. What is needed for them in that situation? Complete parent support and an understanding. The adults who are around them need to understand that okay, this is a phase that is they are going to cross it. When they are in rage, give them the space that they needed. It is not that neglect them or overlook all the things as it's a phase, it's a phase, it's a phase. Something like this, if it is happening, they are getting isolated from the family bonding. Then there is a serious issue that you need to look into it. It is not the thing that you should say it's a phase, they'll overcome it. No, their needs are not met in the family. They are not having a space to grow in the family. That is why they are keeping themselves isolated. That is the message. So where we need to address, where we need to step aside, that is a clarity that a parent or adult should have. If that clarity is there, we'll have the clarity that this is a phase, this will pass out. This is the thing that we need to address. Why this is not the appropriate behavior that we should expect from the adolescent period, the teenage group. Then we can handle it properly. They are having lot of changes going on within them, and they are comparing themselves with the elders and the younger, the previous life cycle they have gone through. They are undergoing a huge change over that period. That is what makes that particular age group is a very crucial.
Thank you so much, Sharifa, for sharing about your thoughts on the adolescence period. Now, I would like you to share about your learnings from the first episode of adolescent series.
From the first episode, what stood out for me most is like the child is treated with respect in all the period. The officers were able to maintain firm yet the gentle mode of conversation with the child. Though they have the proven everything with them, they did not accuse the child as a criminal. What stood out predominantly is the respect and the gentle firmness that every officer handled, and the importance they have given to the emotion of the child. And the process they have very clearly explained the child, and they didn't underestimate their age as a child nor as an adult. They treated the child very appropriately.
And you told about they treated him with respect. I could understand it. But there were some scenarios that stood highlighted in the first episode that I would like to share it here. Like, for example, the attitude of the nurse. She was like super irritated that she was called early in the morning for, doing the test on the child. But when she entered the room where the child was present, she was completely a different person. She had regulated all her emotions and she gave the ultimate respect, space, and time for the child. And then she did all the tests. And then the police officers were irritated for some other reason, but they came out of the room, regulated themselves, and then got back to work. So I felt those regulations helped them create that respect for the child and for the parents of the child.
And the police officers, how the feelings of them when they're handling the juvenile case, when the pain they have it, like their previous cases are coming into the picture, and how it is going to affect all these things, turmoils are going inside them. But still, as appropriate adults, they are exhibiting their role very in a respectful way. It's like they didn't give up to the child in any way. They didn't stop the child from emoting. They are giving the prompt instructions what has to be done and what not to be done. This is what all the things that they have showed is very age appropriate in the first episode.
Thank you so much, Sharifa. And the second episode, it just shocked me. It was like so heavy for me to process. I couldn't watch the third episode immediately after watching the second because it was like too much for me. How did you feel that, and what are your learnings from that?
Yes, it was like I was pretty convinced me that This is not the scenario in India with a schooling system. So far, the schools I have known or heard of is like they are trying to get technology into the classroom. It's a high time that educators has to realize that if we are getting technology, too much technology inside it, the trust between the bond between the child and the teacher is going to get affected. The child will not look up to you as a teacher, that will a child would look up to the digital media as a teacher, and child will seek the truth and learnings from the digital media rather than from the teacher. Now the current scenario is the child is like going for the digital mode, is saying ask chat gpt, ask google for the answer, something like that. They are not craving for the human connection right now, even after the technology has not penetrated too much as in the series. But if it had happened here, what would be the scenario, or how the bonding would be affecting? It's really like a very shock. I And it's a very uh, crucial point. Whoever the educators who are thinking about getting too much technology into the class, no, at this point they have to reconsider it. There are so many countries, a few countries have dished technology into the classroom and they are bringing back the books. Technology is a boon, but how we are using, when we are using, at what age we are exposing the child, that is very much stood out, particularly in this episode.
And what I would like to add on to this episode is there are different kinds of communication, and I think parents of today are not so much aware of the communication of the children. Like they were giving explanation for the emojis, and I was like, okay, does pink color heart have this meaning? Does a blue color heart in the smiley have this meaning? I was like, um, shocked. And I think it is very important for us as parents to make sure that we understand what our children talk, what our children think, and what our children feel. So communication is not just with talks or body language, but it is very important that we understand what they think and what they feel as well through all their communication. Thank you so much, Sharifa, and your thoughts on the third episode, which was like icing on the cake.
uh, it's like to say about that communication gap, no, before addressing to the third episode, I would like to shed some light on the communication gap. We might be using some emojis as we interpret. We have our own meaning and we just send it, and our generation never worried about it also. Nowadays, like gen z language is completely different. They have different whole set of vocabulary that we need to learn. Many of us are well aware of it. We are seeing in on social media. But this, even the emoji is having a very huge impact. It doesn't even appear like a bullying when you
True,
see it in a
true.
Instagram comment. It doesn't even, you didn't even have a clue that this
True.
boy is being bullied.
Bullied. Yeah.
But that simple emojis had created huge turmoil inside the child who
Right.
knows the language. When we are not aware of it, that awareness, lack of awareness, is going to create huge damage. So, as you said, very clearly said, be aware of what is happening in the next generation world. We ourselves are drawn in our own world of digital mode. It is the same digital mode that is showing different perspective to the next generation. Everybody is using the same digital mode only, but we are seeing it in different perspective. They are seeing it in different perspective. So the second episode has brought huge awareness on that. The communication gap. This is not a generation gap. This is a communication gap.
Completely agree with you. Yeah.
Okay. That is one thing where it stood out very profoundly in that communication thing. Stood out for the second episode. Coming to the third episode, is very beautifully the counselor has exhibit what and how the self regulation has to be done. That's like very rawly, and it is projected in a very extreme situation. A young lad is acting before you in a very inappropriate way, and you have your fears inside. First, initially, one time you stepped out and you regulated yourself and everything you did, and you came back inside, and again, two times he's being like at rage. He's not coming to the position of controlling himself. That is the difference. That adult is still growing. Jamie is still growing. He doesn't know how to self regulate, but he's trying to regulate and come back and sit. And he knows this has to be done. He knows she will speak only after sitting down. He come back. This adult, fully grown adult, with all the emotions inside, still regulating and getting what it has to be got from the child,
And she
setting the
has,
boundaries very clearly.
that was what I wanted to tell. He had set the boundaries very clearly right from the initial talk with him that whatever happens, he has to sit down and talk with her. Yeah.
He asks for the notes. She says, "No, I can't give you." Just to be in good books of him, she didn't say that I can give. Everywhere, small thing, if he noted in that, the trust she has got, the child with a five meeting is able to trust the person, and very much worried about the opinion of the counselor. What do you think of me? The child is longing for that connection, even with a few meetings. Then, if we parents missed every chance of making bond with the child, gaining their trust, then it is our loss.
That is when children seek for connection from their peers and strangers with whom they think that, they feel connected. So it is very important for us parents to create a very beautiful bonding with our children, not just during the happy times, but also during the times they need us, during all the time they need us.
It is not that they may need it, but they convey their need in a very different way. They may shut the door at our face and they go inside. Then they'll come back to us when we accept it, and when we are calm and composed, they'll come back. They would come back to us, and they may speak, I should have not done it. Even they do not want to apologize it. This is what had happened. That's why I was in that rage. Something they must express. No, they every human needs their emotion to be vented out. Where they are venting, that is a question. If if the home is safe place to vent out, fine. If home is giving space to uh, analyze the thing, what has happened, what they are going inside, if they are able to support this child, fine. If that support system is not given, if everything is taken as personally, not considering the age and the emotion of the child, then they will not have space in the home to vent it out, so they seek it outside.
So true. Thank you for sharing about the thank you for sharing about your understanding on episode number 3, where the conversation happens between Jamie and the counselor. And moving forward to the climax or the fourth episode, how do you feel the emotions that were expressed in the episode by Jamie's family, especially his father?
Yes. It has come to the point that he they are undergoing the guilt, but still they do not know what has caused that, what has affected the self image of the child. They are not aware of it. One thing that I was very clearly able to understand is they have sought therapies to get out from the guilt, whole sort of guilt thing. Whether they have in that therapy they have addressed the root cause of it, the child and that parent, that all these things are not addressed. But still, but that grown up adult who is trying to regulate, what are the causes all this thing that is the at the third episode we have seen Jamie saying, my father was masculine. What the father's role has played in getting that thought understanding of masculinity for Jamie is very clearly seen in the fourth episode. He's grown up, he's into that field of plumbing, painting and everything, but he doesn't know that the paint doesn't go off with water. But the rage, all the pent up emotions are coming out, and it is going in the family. It is again going without considering the emotion of the family. Nothing must have changed, but finally they are ready to warn the child. Okay, he has done the mistake, that is something has happened, but we need not go into the guilt cycle and ruin our the further future. This is one thing they have got to know. I'm not very sure that whether it is the appropriate acceptance or not. You need to stand by the child, whatever. And one thing very clearly stood out is with the same parenting only they have elder one who is able to share everything, who is able to share things with the parents,
And she was
especially mom.
also ready to face the world living in the same place, despite of the society looking at them as, you know, a family that has,
Connected with a juvenile case, something like that. So that maturity of the child and different personality has been given shown in that film, that final episode, how mom is like able to understand the rageful husband. He's able to provide me everything and everything. Okay, this is a one character of the my husband. When he's not able to handle his anger, I am trying to accept it. That mother is accepting the father's
issue with
reactions.
father.
What is the support he needs, she's trying to process it. She very well knows that this is not going to work, but okay, she leaves it. She's trying to accept. The girl is like, though she's having the questions, so many questions, she's having the clarity also. The father is trying to regulate himself. Whatever be the his action, he's trying to, okay, God, trying to bring it on to the good side, but he's finding it's very difficult. That is a fact. That is something reality has been shown. You cannot change, like as in we see in movies, like some realization, oh, you have opened my eyes, for these days I have been like this, from next day onward the transformation happens. And we common people getting deceived by that, we'll expect same thing in our life also, overnight change. That is never is going to happen. Whatever the change that you want to bring in your life, it is a process.
And we have to give time for the process. It cannot happen overnight, be it with our emotions or be it with our physical body or be it with our relationship with people. We have to give the time for it, time for the others, and time to process within ourselves.
I have one more thing I have to add here is that don't try to expect what you need from the child. Had Jamie has given a chance to draw or explore drawing when he was interested in drawing, he must have gained his self image. He must have excelled in that aspect very much, rather than getting him into the sports for the wish of the father and damaging his self image. So, looking into the need of the child is very much important, and that is also the lesson that we need to get from the fourth episode, because here is the connection between the third and the fourth episode. There we got to know in the third episode, we got to know from where the self image of the child has been affected. Here we got to know why it is, why the father has is not able to give the support. because he's not self-regulated by himself to face those situations, to face those failures.
So true, because he wanted to be a father, not like his father, but he did not explore on how to be a better father. He just wanted, for him, he didn't want to repeat the mistake what his dad did to him. But he did not understand what mistakes he was, making. And one could only understand it when they are sitting with themselves and regulating their emotions and observing their pattern. Yeah.
So here is very clear is that what we all know what is the mistake, but we do not know how to correct it. That for the all the troubles or the struggles that we face in parenting in current generation is that we are missing how to do it, because we don't have a model. We just know we don't want to do it, but how to do it we do not know. When we get the answer for how, things will fall in place slowly in the process.
Very true, Sharifa. So thank you for sharing all the parenting lessons. And is there something else other than the parenting lessons you learned through this series, Adolescence?
There are few things that stood out very well is the Jade, Katie's friend, who showed her anger towards Jamie's friend, was show treated with empathy by the teacher. She doesn't know what to do, though she has acted inappropriately. The teacher is able to understand the loss of the kid. That is very much important. And one beautiful thing that happened in between the third episode is that the police officer who is not satisfied with the job
The one,
is,
are you talking about the one in the surveillance room?
yeah. So when she step out and comes to the CCTV camera, he thinks that he is not satisfied with his job, so he generalizes it, and he is not able to accept it that, oh, some people do love their jobs. That is one other thing that stood out there. And as we said, we discussed earlier, the clarity of Jamie's sister. She is able to keep certain things in privacy to her, and she was able to convey her need. Okay, this is what we, let us be here, whatever and she's able to accept this scenario also. She's able to well adapt to the scenario also. She's very rational. She's not ashamed that because of my brother only I'm facing all these things and all. She's very clearly able to see things rationally. That is one beautiful thing that is shown in Jamie's sister character.
And also, she appeared for a minimal time in screen, but wherever she appeared, her rationality was like displayed very well. Initially, when the policeman was barging inside the house, she did not understand. But once when they say that sit down, she sat down, and in the police station, the mother was like, in too much of emotion, she was telling, "You just threw my daughter on the floor." She was like, "No, mom, they didn't
Yeah.
do that." So even though there were a lot of emotions going on, her rationality was like very clearly expressed. True.
It's everywhere, all the places, as you said. Even the whatever place she has come, she her role was very well formed with a rational person.
True.
What a rational thinking could do to your do to the situation, that is very clearly exhibited. And one last point I observed a pattern here is that the friendship of Kate and Jade, there also they feel that they are lacking something, and Jamie and friends, they also have paired up in a way that they all feel lacking. They all feel unworthy or ugly, or they're struggling for the power. All here one common point is that they don't have safe place at where it is needed, home. This is the place they have grouped. So be sure, and what is the space that, what is the environment you give at home, so that they attract the same thing at the outside also. When they have a safe place as home, they choose safe friends too, with the pattern that is observed in the friendship format. No, here what I feel is, it is empathy is playing the major role. One who is in the same pain is able to understand the pain of the other friend. One who is not popular is able to understand the pain of the friend who is also feeling not popular. So they are able to
Connect with
we as a
each other.
friends connect with each other. They resonate in the energy level, in the thoughts level. So that is what's so important. So with what feeling that we send our child out is so important for them to get people around them. So the work has to start at home, where anybody can grow, so that the changes can be observed and accepted in the society.
Thank you so much, Sharifa, for sharing your thoughts on the web series Adolescence and your views on the parenting insights and also the generic insights that would help us evolve ourselves as better human being and better parents. And a big thank you for suggesting me for watching this series Adolescence, and looking forward for connect with you in another wonderful episode in future.
Thank you.
If you like this episode, kindly hit the like button and share it with your friends and like minded community. And if you have not watched this series, Adolescence, please do watch it. You can also learn a lot of things that could practically change our life in a better way through this series, Adolescence. Thank you so much and see you again in at another beautiful podcast.